Dirt Life Show with your host, George Hamill.
Yeah, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Dirt Life Show. We have a Baja 500 recap today. Dude, it was so crazy down in Mexico, man. Lots of fun. Man, the pace was just unreal. We're going to talk to a bunch of cool people. We got Bryce Menzies, overall winner, trophy truck winner. Orrin Anderson helped him pilot that bad Menzies truck to the finish line in first place. We also got the Polaris Factory guys, Brock Heger, Ethan Groom, and Adam Arsenault going to come on, talk to us about their overall UTV win. And I think it's called Pro UTV Unlimited. So that's going to be pretty badass. Blake Wilkey, everybody knows Blake Wilkey, and Harrison Weiss, they're going to come on. Kind of crazy to see Blake in a UTV, right? Like, we're used to seeing him in a Volkswagen. We're used to seeing him in his, like a Class 11. We're used to seeing him in his trophy bug. So that'll be cool to talk with him. Brian Moore, Do It For B Moore. He's going to come on, tell us how it was, looking at everything from the sky, dealing with the chasing with the Herbst guys. Man, they did fantastic this weekend too. It was really cool to see. Ryan Millen, Tim, Thor, Pierce, everybody. So we'll talk with them about that. Maybe even talk a little bit about the Starlink stuff. That was pretty cool. And then finally, we're going to talk with the Moto dudes. So Moto is so gnarly in the desert. We're going to talk with Connor Eddy, Matt Combs, Matt Eddy. Maybe their whole crew will join. We're going to get Bryce on in just a second here with Orrin. But first, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. You just saw them right there, KMC Wheels. Thanks to the guys at Maxxis Tires. We have some cool stuff. We're going to give away a Jeremy McGrath Maxxis autographed podium hat probably next week when we do our short course first round review. Thanks to the guys at Motul. Thanks to the guys over at Shock Therapy. Go get yourself some Shock Therapy parts. They got a new website coming up, so you can get some discounts there using the code DIRTLIFE. Thanks to all the guys at JL Audio for keeping us pumping. Evolution Power Sports. Thanks, Todd, and all those guys for making a bunch of power. Thanks to the guys over at Zolander Racing Products and Vision Canopies. Kyle and Doug McTagg and all those guys, they had a really good race down in Baja too. So, all right. So without further ado, let's get Bryce and Orrin. Let's get them going real quick. And thanks to James and all the guys at IMG Motorsports for letting us use the shop to have the show. So appreciate that. Bryce Menzies, what's up, man?
What's happening, guys? How are you?
We're doing pretty good, dude. I appreciate you coming on. Orrin, what's up, dude?
What's up, George? How you doing?
Doing good, man. So the way I see it on the screen, it's reversed because Bryce is in the passenger seat and now Orrin is in the driver's seat. Is that ever going to happen?
God,
No. I have a super fear of riding with anybody. I think I've only ridden with like Rob McCaffrey once, Jesse Jones. Other than that, I'm terrified of riding for some reason.
Who was the best one to ride with, Rob or Jesse?
Probably Jesse, just because the stories and how much chaos goes on at all the times. I'll remember those forever.
Dude, no doubt. That's pretty cool, man. Hey, so we're talking about the Baja 500. You got to still be on a pretty big high, man, because, dude, that race was pretty awesome. You haven't won the Baja 500 in a little while, actually, but then you come across the finish line first. You had all the fanfare. You got sprinkled by some beer at the end. You got the champagne. Like, it has to feel pretty good now that it's set in.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's crazy to think it's been 9 years. 2014 was our last Baja 500 win. So it just kind of shows what the competition is, how tough Baja is just to beat itself. So it was a cool moment just with the team. I think our team's really working really hard trying to get these trucks to live. It's tough with all the guys having all the drives now, how the level of competition that's at. So to get another win, it always feels good, and it just shows how hard it is. It's been 8 years, so pretty cool.
Well, dude, so there's a couple things that I get from that, so I'll have two questions. But first and foremost, 8 years trying and trying and trying, that's a level of dedication that most people don't have, dude. You should really, really give yourself some props for that, because that's hard work and dedication.
Yeah, no, that's I didn't really realize it till they told me at the finish, like, how long it's been. It's the same thing with 1,000. So it's tough to always just keep coming back and trying to win these races. But the feeling that you get from winning is what you keep fighting for, what you keep striving for. So it's pretty cool to come away, have a whole new group of I had my daughter there, so it's pretty cool to have that. My wife, all my friends, my family, pretty much everybody on my team is my family. So really cool to see and experience again.
Dude, it is cool. And Oren, did you get to feel some of that emotion come? I know you have your own emotion as well across the finish line, but did you get to feel some of that from Bryce and all the people around you?
It's exactly like he says. You know, we focus so much event to event. Like, you don't think about how long it's been since your last big success at that event. Like, the year goes by pretty quick when you're just going race to race. But when they announced that, and for me, I mean, it's been even longer for me, like, to be a part of a Baja 500 overall win like that. And that was my first, I prepped cars that had won overall. That was my first time for the Baja 500 actually navigating. So that was a big one for me in the right team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been a part of teams that have won it when I was helping work on their car, like with Herps and Riviera and stuff like that back in the day. But that was my first in-car victory. And to get to do that with Bryce, I mean, I love racing with Bryce. Bryce is by far my favorite driver. I'm a fanboy of Bryce Menzies, but to do that and just have the run that we had, it was just a great day, and it was awesome, man. The whole group it was top notch.
So I got a few questions, but before we do that, I want to go along with what Bryce was saying, like with all the all-wheel drives and stuff. It's been kind of like a development process, right? You guys are both going through it. Every time it gets worked up, it's better the next race. It's better the next race. But the field is evening out a little bit, right? Like, it's kind of stacking up, so to speak. Is it difficult to keep up with those trends and to like keep pushing forward as you have to build and develop the program?
Yeah, it's definitely tough just to prep a truck and get it ready for a race is a feat in itself. And then also try to be able to go test, develop new stuff to be different than the other teams out there. Which is pretty cool. And that's one thing that I think keeps us around and my family around is my dad loves to innovate, try new things. So he's always coming up with some crazy ideas that we're all scratching our head at, but that's kind of where you need to go with this sport to be ahead of the next guy. So he's always trying to see what's the next thing to go, what's the next thing that's going to be faster. We're out there testing all the time. So it just shows those same guys, it seems like, are always up front running are the guys that put in a ton of work, a ton of time, and a ton of pre-running. So It's pretty cool to see the level of competition where it is, that if you have like one little small mistake, it seems like you're not going to win a race.
Yeah, totally. It's kind of crazy, right? We're getting so many funny comments. So thank you all for joining in and hanging out with us. So one of the things that I was thinking along that, like on a personal note, as we get older and like as we develop as racers and just human beings in general, I kind of feel like you guys are saying the same thing that I figured out in the last couple of years. Like, I'm addicted to progress, like more than anything else. I feel like you guys are the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't look at it that way. It's been, like I said, it's been 13 years since I've been trying to win a Baja 1000. So the way I look at defeat is, as long as we learn something from it, we understand what we did wrong and what we could do going forward, then it's just a learning aspect, and it's how we go about it. And that's daily life. You know, I think Baja and racing has really helped me develop into a better man, a better father, just because of all the triumphs, how hard it is down there, the stuff you go through. It's never easy, and it's never going to get there for sure.
It's weird how it trains you for life, so to speak, right? Hey, look, there's your boy Jonesy just signed on too. So what's up, Jesse? All right. So we had some fan questions come in throughout the last week or so as we were posting this and kind of getting ready for everything. So one of the fans is actually part of your team, Wes Leffler. He actually said, Oren, how about that line to pass Luke? I guess it was some sketchy line, like where there was a massive cliff on the side.
Yeah. Both those lines right there, the line Luke was on, the line we were on, they're both like, it's right after you're dropping down the summit. They're both hairy. The one he was on is like these big rock steps. And we took the longer line around just to get some clean air, and Bryce wanted to make a run and try and get the pass in. But I mean, they were not like bitchin' pass lines. Like, neither one of these I wanted to go fast down. So, but Bryce picked it up a little bit. It looked like Luke might have already been limping at that point, maybe a little bit with the steering or trying to save the truck. And Bryce, yeah, it it wasn't even a trophy truck width line that we were bonsaiing down, and it's passenger side is cliffside. So I'm just like, I feel like I'm already free falling, hanging off this thing. But it was really cool, in that moment to get around and then have clean air the rest of the day from there. But yeah, the summit's sketchy, man. There's some good pucker spots on that section for sure.
How does that work, Bryce? Does Oren just say, hey, go this way? And you're like, oh shit, now I got to freaking squeeze the Charmin through this line or what?
We pre-ran both of those, and like our better line was the left line, which Luke took. And coming down, I kind of said, whatever one he takes, we're going to take the other one. And right when he went left, I went right. And I went to go push, and actually right when we went right, I clipped a big rock. I didn't even see it. Somehow it grabbed the wheel and actually bent the steering probably just 15% to the left. And right there, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? We didn't need to do that. We're only at race mile 100. So I had to race the rest of the race with the steering wheel paddles bent to the left, but it worked out. To pass anybody on the summit is not fun. It's not where you want to pass somebody. It's rocky, it's sketchy. So we realized, I think Luke was having an issue, and right there, I just wanted to get around him before he slowed us up anymore with the issue he's having. So it was fun to get around, and then we kind of just cruised from there.
Dude, it's so crazy to think like that. Probably like those emotions or those decisions probably happened 169 times as you guys were out there, right? Like, because there's so many split-second decisions. Like, was there anything else sketchy that you guys were like, dude, that was a close one?
I would say towards the end, once we got through San Vicente, where it drops down through the coast, we had a really big lead, and my dad's like, all right, just chill. You guys are good. Cruise it from here. And I took my eye off the ball for 1 second, and it came over a rise, and Oren called it rock on right. And the rear just stepped out, and I caught this rock, and I thought it broke the caliper, the rotor, like ruined the race. My heart literally fell through my chest, and I started to freak out a second. Oren's like, dude, let me get out, look. He got out, everything was fine. But it's moments like that, I mean, up until the last mile of the Baja 500, something could happen. So you never know with that race.
Dude, yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, but that, like, I don't know, the feeling of a racer or being in the driver's seat, passenger seat, whatever it is, like, I don't know, you got, like, it's something that you can't, like, give up because you're always on edge the whole time. And then it's like when you cross the finish line, you still can't breathe, but it's like you took a deep breath.
Absolutely. Like, I don't want to celebrate or get excited until that we're past the checkered flag. Like, even on the 37 mile an hour, 10 mile long speed zone to the finish line, like, I'm still holding my breath till I know the time stopped and we're out of it. Like, it's just one of those things where even knowing you've been, like, Bryce ran a great race. We had a comfortable lead for the better part of the day, but it's like, I didn't want to even think anything that would jinx that. And with our luck, I mean, we're kind of the kings of trophy truck bad luck. And if it can happen, it does happen to us. So I just want to shut my mouth until we get past the checkers. I don't start smiling until somebody hands me a beer.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that happen too. But yeah, so, well, first of all, congratulations. Or the fans sprinkle some beer on you, right? Well, so that was cool to see. Like, there was a couple of videos that showed that, man. Like, just the appreciation of all the fans in Baja is kitchen.
It's pretty cool. I've won a lot of races, and that was probably one of the coolest moments was we were kind of cruising through, and we got a little drive back to where our hotel is. So we put our helmets on, and I was pretty smart to put my pumper on and shut my visor. And Oren just had his helmet on, the visor open. And the first guy handed me a beer, and I took it and kind of did the shake part, and all of a sudden we just started getting doused. And it was one of those cool celebrations. And then we got through, and I look over, and there's literally beer just like pouring down Oren's face. It was one of the
That's awesome. Yeah. Aiden Gleason, throw you a shout out. What's up, buddy? Yeah. So, like, take us back a little bit, because the race didn't go perfectly smooth. Like, you still had to change a couple tires. You still had to make sure that you were in the pits and stuff. But one of the comments that came in was saying that Oren was like lightning fast changing tires this race. Were you just eating your spinach or what, dude?
It's those things that, track position is everything in a race like this, right? So knowing who was behind us, knowing where we were, and how the pace of the race was going to be. I mean, we pre-ran for 8 days. So we saw it get dusty and silty, and it's not something where we didn't want to be back any farther than third, right? So if you have a slow tire change with how competitive the field is right now, like, if you're slow tire change, you're losing position. So I had just mentally been grilling like the procedure of where exactly I grab on the strap, where I clip it, how long, trying to get my end as quick and just, methodical as possible so that if we did have to stop, it was just as smooth as possible on my end. I mean, there's so much unpredictable stuff that happens when you get out of the truck for a tire change or anything that, just trying to be smooth and fast and not make any mistakes so I could get in as quick as possible and hopefully keep Bryce in the same spot that we were in.
Dude, yeah, that's kind of crazy, right? Because it's almost like muscle memory in your brain. And like all of a sudden, everything just starts lining up and matching. Bryce, we had a couple questions come in. One of the questions
before that is that guy changed the first tire. I want to say it was less than 40 seconds.
No.
It was insane. I swear, I'm gonna get a time. But the first one, right when I got it, I felt I got it. I earned it. I felt it slide into a rock on the outside wall. And it blew it out right away. And my dad's like, or I called over the radio to our pit, and I think it was only like a mile or something. And they're like, just drive it to the road. But I knew I couldn't make it. And I'm like, dude, if we get past right here, like it's gonna be a long day. And we pull over, and he got out. And by the time he got back in, I literally was just looking at him like, did you even change the tire? So I think he had 2 of those that were 40 seconds, and then the other 2 were like 45. So just unreal day.
Dude, that's wild. So like when he was banging on the side of the truck to let the jack down, were you like, dude, what? Is somebody else out here?
I thought something was going on, like an issue, but it's crazy how fast he's gotten and to change those tires and how heavy they are. It's pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. You've been eating your Wheaties, huh, Oren?
I don't know, dude. Sometimes, every dog has its day. That was like my day right there, right? We clicked it down. We got it done. It definitely doesn't feel that fast when you're going through it. But the only thing I've learned is that the faster you do them, the less tired you get. So if I can just fast, I'm not breathing hard, ready for the next one. So I'm trying to get them all quick, but I don't know. After hearing those times, I don't even think that's real. So gotta see what I can do to stay with it.
It would be kind of cool if we could figure it all out. All right, so Bryce, we had a question come in. How fast can the trophy truck go?
I want to say mine, I think we ran 145 was like the top speed on it that we hit.
Ooh, how does that feel in a trophy truck for some of the audience that can never ever feel that in their life?
It's fast enough. Honestly, you're driving a 7,000 pound missile through the desert at 140 miles an hour. Is pretty incredible. There's only so many people that have been lucky enough to do it, and it's one of those amazing feats for sure.
So I saw, I want to wind this down a little bit because we got to get the Polaris guys on in like 3 minutes here. But I saw some videos from a really awesome video guy. His name's Justin Chasen. I don't know if you guys know him, but dude, some of the car control that I saw you have at this year's 500, Bryce, was honestly, it was mind blowing. Like we're talking about Oren being on point, like doing his tire changes. Like the whole team seemed to have this like extra level of synergy, right? You behind the wheel, them in the pits, Oren in the co-driver's seat, Oren changing tires. Like, what gives you guys that little advantage? I mean, is it just practice and muscle memory, or is it just a vibe?
I would say it's a little bit of both, but also it's your connection with your co-driver. You have to feel confident when you're driving into a corner. Now he likes to. I notice when I start to scare him, he'll call out mile per hour. He's like, "Hey, we're going to this corner at 120 miles an hour." But if I don't trust that guy and believe that he knows exactly what he's saying, I'm going to slow down. So I think the guy behind the camera filming always makes it look way better than it is. But
I don't know.
The reason that I could go that fast is just because the notes that I'm getting and how comfortable we are in the car.
Yeah, there was a couple times. I don't remember what it was, but it was one video that was posted. It was almost like short course style, right? Like it looked like you started the corner. I don't know. It was probably maybe a 16th of a mile ahead, and you started getting crooked, and I was just like, dude, he's pointing perfect. And then all of a sudden you could see you just barely get on the gas, and it was like just started biting, and I was like, dude, that was the most crispy perfect corner. So I can only imagine how it felt in the vehicle.
He had like all the hundreds of corners like that, right? Where it was just like perfect setup. It was like, for me, that's the closest I'll ever get to being in like a Pro 4. But I told him after the race, like the section, finishing the crossover road on like those fast bladed roads, and then going up to Santo Tomas, where that's like, I don't think there's a section Bryce is better trained and prepared for than that stuff. Like I have to let go of the seat after those sections, and like Like I'm still calling notes the whole time, but I grip my seat so hard because like I'm not ready to back into a corner at 98 miles an hour. So I'm just like, I got to relax for a little bit to just chill out and get back into it after that. It's an insane rush riding with that guy.
Dude, just hearing those stories, like, when you're on a roller coaster, for people that haven't been in a trophy truck, like I can only imagine that feeling, dude. It's got to be so cool. Like me being the host and obviously the people that are listening, it's so cool to get that level of detail from you guys. So I appreciate it. All right, so we got to get the Polaris guys on. We'll leave you with one last question. Bryce, you go first, and then Oren, you go second. What was your favorite part of the whole weekend, Bryce?
Man, honestly, I would say my favorite part was getting to the compound after we won and just seeing my daughter. It's pretty cool where my mindset used to go from like winning a race to losing a race. It was really up and down my emotions, and now it's no matter what happens, as long as I get back to her and just seeing how excited she was and that we could all be down there and have a family vibe is what it's all about. So these races will come and go, but honestly, it's all about family vibe, and I think that was one of the coolest moments.
Dude, yeah, heart. So, all right, Oren, what about you, buddy?
Coolest moment for me, my family was back at home. They were watching, so I didn't have one of those, connections, but definitely like just coming in and celebrating with the team after that one, sliding into the compound in the trophy truck and having everyone there. And like Bryce said earlier, the family atmosphere, that part was great. But the beer shower trip, we were already talking about like next time if we finish getting a race, like I'm grabbing beers for the end so we can get out. I'm going to hose those people back because that was but I'm not going in empty handed to another freaking beer fight.
You got to come in with your own ammo?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, boys. Hey, thank you very much. Congratulations for everything. Is there anything else you got? You want to thank anybody before we get the Polaris guys on?
I just want to thank all the fans of Baja. Thank you for having us on. We love racing down there. It's really cool to see how they greet us, how cool it is. And my hat's off to Oren, man. This guy's one badass co-driver.
My dude, thank you for the kind words, Bryce. I appreciate it, bro.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Thanks, boys. Enjoy your family and enjoy your night. We'll see you guys later. Congratulations.
See you guys. Thank you.
All right, so let's get Brock Heger on here. We're going to get Ethan Groom and Adam Arsenault, the overall winners in the UTV class. I think it's called Pro UTV Unlimited as well. Thank you guys all for commenting in and hanging out with us too. Good to see you guys. What's up, Brock? How are you?
Howdy.
Dude, it's good to see you, man. How does it feel to be a Baja 500 winner?
Feels good. I've never won one of those, so it obviously feels good.
Yeah, we're going to get your co-driver, Ethan Groom, on here real quick, too. And then Adam Arsenault's going to join us as well. Let me get him dialed in. Ethan, what's up, dude?
What's up? How you guys doing?
How are you?
Doing great.
Dude, so I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a background here. So Brock Heger has been a short course ace for a long time. The dude can drive, but you have an opportunity now to be a big desert guy now. So with Polaris Factory Off-Road Racing Team, it's been pretty cool to see you kind of get used to things. You've done a few races in the past in the desert, Brock, but you're kind of learning at the same time, right? So it was really cool to see you on the top step of the podium. I can only imagine what it felt like for you.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, obviously I've grown up since 2008 doing short course full time, and then I don't know, the past 4 years, kind of doing both. And then obviously with the new Polaris program, I'm full-time desert. I have no plans of short course. The only thing on my agenda is desert. So it's the first time for that. And obviously just putting my focus fully towards desert racing and in the Polaris program.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it works. Hey, real quick, Adam, please go just update your Instagram app on your phone, and then you should be able to log in. So anyways, Ethan, it's pretty cool to be able to be part of the team as well, because not only do you get to learn a lot, but you probably actually get to help. And I don't want to say teach Brock because he doesn't need much teaching, but excel the program because you've done desert racing for quite a while.
Yeah, it's super cool to be able to be a part and kind of like bring my own personality and into the team and kind of really mess with all the guys over there. And it's really good programming over there, and I'm glad they give me the opportunity to kind of help out, and it's going great so far.
Yeah, it really does seem like it is going great. Like the whole team actually did really well this race and at San Felipe too. One of the things I was going to ask you, Brock, is since you're not like you haven't had that much desert racing experience, I know you have, but how was the pace this race compared to like what you're used to in the past with the limited amount of desert racing you've done? Because to me, it looked insane fast.
Um, I actually just got that question the other day, and yeah, and I think it's different. You know, I've raced a 10 car for a few years, which they're pretty bulletproof. So you can push those cars. I've raced a 6100. You're pushing those cars, and obviously with the short amount of time that I have in a UTV, I don't know the limits quite yet. So I would say our pace wasn't what I'm used to. Obviously, short course, I mean, it's all you got in your 10-minute, 15-minute span. But I felt like we were cruising. I think the team and the cars and everyone involved in our side has a little bit more work to do. I think we can up our pace and get these cars to hopefully beat the 10 cars and hopefully beat some other classes.
Yeah, but you guys were up there pretty high. Do you remember what the overall position you guys finished in was, Ethan?
I don't know. I was in the 20s, mid 20s. We were in there. We were headed most of the 10 cars and kind of right there at the edge of the 6100 guys.
Dude, it's pretty crazy though, right? Like that's fast.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot faster than I thought we'd be going. And so it's pretty cool. Like we hit over 100 miles an hour right off the start, and that's the fastest I've ever been in a car. It was a little scary, but Brock knew what he was doing, so we were pretty good.
Dude, that's cool, man. So UTV can go that fast. Do you remember what your top speed was?
101.
Dude, that's insane how fast these UTVs can go, right? I've heard a couple people saying they go like, I don't know, 112 or something like that. But anything, dude, like
in a stock car, I've done that, which is pretty wild. It was bone stock.
It is wild. I remember doing some short course races, like when we went up to Reno and we were coming down that big hill, like in the Wags E's, and we hit 97. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I feel very much more comfortable going that fast in a UTV.
Yeah, no, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild just given the fact that anyone can go buy it pretty much and do the same thing. It's pretty much what this class is about, what these cars, what the whole UTV scene is about. So obviously it's cool that anyone can do it and do what we're doing.
Dude, it is pretty badass, right? You can go down to the dealership and buy one. Adam Arsenal, what's up, dude? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, George? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You got to be pretty proud of the boys bringing home a victory.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it was really exciting to see one of the brand new 2023 Polaris factory chassis finish line first.
So we were talking to Bryce a little bit about this, right? Like how off-road racing takes so much behind the scenes work and stuff like that. Like, give us a little bit of a background on what kind of stuff you guys do to prepare the car for Brock and for Ethan to get into it and make sure it crosses the finish line, first of all, and then obviously give them a good car to be able to win.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. I mean, we've got a whole shop of full-time guys here who are thrashing nonstop in the weeks leading up to a race. To make sure that they've got the best possible car they have. You know, ideally we wanted to have zero downtime during a race. A day like Brock and Ethan had, where they don't have to stop for anything unplanned. And that's kind of the goal. You know, win it before it even starts.
That's actually a really good thing to say. Win it before it starts. You guys got to feel pretty confident, Ethan, in the machinery and stuff, having dudes like Adam behind you.
Oh yeah, the whole team over there, they're all great. I actually stopped by earlier today to drop some of the spares off from the race, and they're already working hard. It's only been 3 days since the race, and they're full force back at it all day long. And so it's pretty cool to see the amount of time that's being put into these cars. And it really gives us confidence going to the start line, knowing that these cars are ready to race.
Yeah, that's totally cool. Well, that actually brings up a good point, though, is like there's a lot that happens behind the scenes. Like, how much do you guys as drivers get an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes, like in the pits and chasing and stuff like that? Or do you just leave that to the guys that are in the chase trucks?
Adam obviously makes it super easy on us. That's kind of his deal, is preparing everything, and obviously we get to see it. We go to the team meetings, we get to hear everything, the day before the race and kind of what the plan is. So I have to give a huge thanks to Adam and Ryan and everyone at the shop. They they put way more effort than me into it, obviously, and they give me the easy part to go drive. So that's kind of how it goes. I try to obviously repay them back by doing what we did at the 500, and those guys, they work their butts off and make it super easy for me and Ethan and the whole rest of the boys to do it.
Bringing home the gold is no small feat, man. You're acting all humble over here. That's a pretty hard job. Hey, but yeah, you're right though. Like, Adam, can you give us a little bit of understanding, like what they're talking about? Like what does happen logistically? Because like every time I see it for a trophy truck team, a UTV team, even like a class 11 team, all, on the lower little Johnny racer guy, logistically, it's insane to take a vehicle 500 miles through the desert.
Absolutely. And that's kind of my area of expertise here on the team, is to make sure we've got the right people with the right equipment in the right place at the right time, so that, all Brock and Ethan have to do is just keep the car moving, and we're going to be there waiting for them with fuel and tires and whatever they need. At the 500, they were able to do that. They kept the car moving, they kept it up front, and, we gave them fuel when they needed. In spite of that, there was still some unplanned challenges that we had to go through. Neither one of them had to get out of the car all day long, which is a testament to just all the engineering and prep that went into the car and our BF Goodrich tires. But, we still had a few small hiccups. Two of our other cars on our team, Austin Weiland and Caden McCachran, they had some suspension failures early on. And our concern was that, we didn't want Brock to have a similar failure. So we kind of had an unplanned emergency stop for him at the BF Goodrich pit at pit 2 out in Borrego. And we just got a quick visual on the car to make sure that the issues we had in the other two cars, didn't plague him later on in the day. So that was great having BF Goodrich tires support out there. It kind of expands, we had a lot of support out there, trucks and equipment, but having their support as well kind of allows us to spread that around more. And then we had a few issues with fueling. We had technical issues at our second fuel pit, and our pressurized fueling system didn't operate the way we wanted to. We had to switch to the backup with dump cans, so he had a little bit of a longer fuel pit there than we had planned. And there were some concerns he possibly got short fueled. So even after that, we had a second unplanned stop to kind of splash him with some dump cans from a non-team member. We reached out. That's what's great about Baja, is everybody's there to help out however they can. So reached out to some friends with Rancho Racing, and they splashed him real quick when he got over to Highway 1 so that he can make it up to our final pit and bring it in for the win.
Dude, that's so crazy. And so there's a lot of logistical portions. Like, you can plan all you want, but you got to be on, operate on the fly too. I was thinking, I think you have some military experience, right? 20 years or so. And that probably helped you in all of these decision-making processes. I posted a video on my personal social media yesterday. Choices are some of the most important things that you have in life. And it made a big difference when you got to the finish line in first, your choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of similarities here between the military and off-road racing, because it's all about, you plan for the worst and you hope for the best, and it's about adapting and overcoming to those challenges and obstacles that are in front of you.
Yeah, I guess because it's everybody has to do that, right? They got to do that. Brock, you have to do it in the driver's seat. Actually, Ethan probably does it even more in his mind, keeping you on track, adjusting and making sure everything's good. And then all the guys behind the scenes. That's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot that goes on that not the public eye gets to see.
It's cool though, man. That makes me feel pretty good. Just thinking about it, well, I'm kind of confused in my head, but at the same time, it feels pretty cool to understand that. And Brock, you got to be pumped because that team is so good behind you.
Yeah, no, Adam's he's the guy when it comes to that stuff. So it makes it easy on me and Ethan. We just try to put ourselves in good shoes and let it play out, and know that any moment we can, that Adam is gonna one way or another get us there and give us the best shot at winning.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any sketchy moments when you were out on course?
No, I was watching Bryce's deal, and he had the story of hanging off the edge. We never had anything that was shoot. At least me personally. Ethan might, on the other hand, be like, "Oh, there was this and that and all this stuff." But for the most part, we had honestly a perfect day.
Ethan's
never got sketchy. Never did anything.
Ethan's like, I don't get scared.
No, that was my favorite part of riding with Brock, is it's so smooth.
Oh, really?
and you don't realize how fast that you're running and the pace that you're running until you look down at the speedometer and, oh, wow, we're going really fast, and it just feels so controlled.
We got a couple questions that came in. How many pre-run miles do you guys do?
1,700.
Really?
1,700 miles. Yep. I'm not sure how much Austin and Craig and them did, but me and Caden were down there for a while. We were having fun, and that's what it was obviously a bummer seeing Caden and Austin and Craig have some issues because they equally put in just as much work as I did.
Yeah, exactly. Jesse Jones just asked, what mile did it get dark for you guys? Do you remember?
We got dark at the end of the speed zone of Ojos. It started to go down, so probably, I don't know, 5 miles after the speed zone is when it was actually dark. So at that point, we were pretty much done. We were pretty much there. It was just a matter of getting there and keeping it on the road and hitting that nice long speed zone to the finish.
Dude, Adam, like when you think about it, a couple years ago, like there was almost no way a UTV could finish before or at dark. Like that's insane, the pace, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible how far they've come and how much competition there is in the class now. You know, it's getting tighter and tighter, and that's why we're focusing a lot on our pit and logistics strategy, because it's going to come down where it's just like the trophy trucks, where if you have one issue, you know, you're going to win or lose by minutes or even seconds. So we want to make sure that's dialed.
Dude,
so it's definitely Brock's being humble, but you know, his smooth driving and keeping the car alive is definitely important aspect to it as well.
Yeah, totally. Savage UTV said, you boys were on a killer pace. Well done. Yeah, and so that's kind of what we're talking about is the pace. Like to me, like I can't get over it in my head to understand the pace. Like that pace was so fast for a UTV, but I think about it as well. Like Brock's helping it grow. Adam, you're helping it grow. Ethan, you're helping it grow. Like the whole industry is elevating and going faster, right? Like all of these things, the cars are being built better. Like all of these cool things are happening. Let's see here. Professional drywall finishing asked, hey, Brock, did you drive the entire course start to finish?
Yes, sir. Start to finish, did it all.
Were you pretty
and like
smoked at the end?
No, it wasn't bad. It was there was stuff that was obviously keeping me going, having no issues. I made it nice and easy. Obviously going into San Tomas, I was behind Lettner, and obviously he was down from his race and I was leading my race. So I was like, you know what, I want to try and get him, and I was on his bumper horn, pushed to pass everything, and he bolted. So I was like, as much as I want to run him down, I'm like, that's the last thing I should do. But I ended up catching back up to him. He went off on a line. I went on another one and passed him. So when I did that, it was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's a Mason 4-wheel-drive truck that I just passed. So that obviously fueled me up. And, there's just little stuff like that obviously kind of keeps you going, and having a good day obviously made it a lot easier.
Dude, so those little victories, dude, like it's so funny, like the mentality of a racer, right, Adam? Because like those little things, they're like, yeah, dude, let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah. A little motivation to kind of, refill that tank and get you through the finish line.
All right, we got to get Blake Wilkey and Harrison Weiss on here. We're going to talk more about some Polaris UTVs. But so Ethan, how has it been being in the passenger seat compared to the driver's seat?
It's definitely been different. I'd only done it a couple times before racing with Brock, and so the biggest thing for me that like I had to learn was pre-running. For all like the best in the desert races stuff, we don't really get to do much pre-running, or we don't get to do any pre-running at that. And so it's kind of nice to be able to show up a week early and get notes in and really get your homework done before the race starts.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the whole team thing, right? Like the whole teamwork makes the dream work, because all of you come together and put together good notes, and you put together a good car, and you can exchange information. Like every single person on the team can grow and learn more and more and more every single time that you guys go out. It's pretty awesome. All right, so we got to wind it down. Brock, let's start with you, then we'll go to Ethan, then we'll go to Adam. Just throw a shout out to the people that helped you, and maybe just tell us a little bit about who you have to thank.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got to give up to Ethan for keeping me going all day, Polaris Razor for everything they do. I mean, these cars they're insane, and going back to the times, and you're surprised that they're finishing so early is just where these cars are going is crazy for the everyday consumer. The whole shop, the whole SCI group, all the mechanics, they work their butts off, especially Johnny and everyone that supports us. I mean, there's a huge list of sponsors that support us, and obviously we couldn't do without them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of Johnny, that's really cool that you mentioned him too, because he's been doing a killer job. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is Johnny's hair always looks so good.
He has permanent gel. It doesn't come out. I think he wakes up in the morning and it's just done.
Yeah, it wakes up and it's just beautiful. All right, Ethan, your turn, buddy.
Really, Brock, for giving me this opportunity. Craig Scanlon and Travis Clark for letting me come onto the team and help out. And then Ryan and Adam and all the crew guys over there for doing what they do and for putting in the time in the shop and for logistics. That way we can have our smooth races that we were able to have. It was great. And we definitely wouldn't have been able to win without all them.
Dude, I agree 100%. All right, Adam.
I just got to thank Brock and Ethan for driving a really smooth race and getting us this win. We provided them a car that was capable of winning, and they brought it across the line. So a lot of hard work there. And then all the support from Polaris. I mean, it's great that Polaris has stepped up and made this program possible and has really, brought an OEM back into the sport and is wanting to compete at this level. And then finally, just all the volunteers that come down and provide us with chase support and pit support. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without them.
Yeah, I agree. And then it just goes to show all the hard work, right? So victory number 1 with the boss, Craig Scanlon at San Felipe and Max Eddy. And then victory number 2. So 2 it's Pro Unlimited UTV, I think is what it's called. 2 Pro Unlimited UTV wins so far in score, right?
Open,
Pro.
yeah. UTV Pro Open.
Super cool, man. All right. Thanks, boys. We really appreciate it. We will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, George.
See you guys. All right. So we're going to get Blake Wilkey and Harrison Weiss on real quick and then talk to them a little bit about their journey in their Polaris as well. Let's see here. Actually, I want to talk about something as we wait to get those guys on. I wanted to talk about still the Pro UTV Open. Thanks, Nelson. It's just so wild to me to understand the pace that all these drivers are going these days. Here we go. Let's get Harrison on. These cars can go so fast. I've said it before on the show. I took a stock Pro R and went and pre-ran at the California 300 race in Barstow. And we were doing 83 miles an hour down some single track in a stock car. It was insane how fast the pace was that we could go. All right, hold on a sec, Harrison. Let's see. Actually, we'll wait for Blake to come on. Harrison, what's up, dude?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good, man. Hey, so I kind of want to say that you're new to desert racing. I mean, you've been around it a long time, but getting your driving shoes on, it's pretty cool to see, man. And the Pro R is giving you a platform to get out there and do it too.
Yeah, it's the desert stuff is all very familiar to me. I've been going to the desert my whole life, but the racing scene is all fresh and new. I've kind of been getting comfortable pretty quick with it, but yeah, it's been an experience, and this Baja race fought back pretty hard. So
Wow, what was going on?
Well, several things. Had a primary clutch explode at mile 137. That took an hour to change with my co-driver Spencer. And then we were 6 miles from handing the car off to Blake and ran out of gas. And then Blake got the car. He had a good run all the way up to about mile 348 on the coast, right in the bottom corner. And the wheel lugs backed off in the driver's rear and took out the wheel, took out the rotor. So the pit 3 guys had a spare hub that I gave them. So they went over there, took 2 hours to straighten it all up, pinch the brake line off and get going again. And then Blake made it another 22 miles before the upper ball joint backed out and pulled out the arm. And that ended it at about 2:30 in the morning.
Dude, you guys get it's just a learning curve, right? There's so many little things that happen. We were just talking with the Polaris Factory guys. There's so many little things that happen during a race. It's unexpected. You just have to be updating and changing your strategy and keep going and moving forward. And when you have, I don't want to say failure is not the right word, but when you have learning experiences like what you guys had, you have adjustments that you can make to get better the next race.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like writing it down in your notes in your phone and learning off of it. Maybe checking the wheel lugs at each pit, could be a better thing for the future. And having the newer updated clutch players came out with, and luckily I'm getting a whole X travel front end next week, so that should eliminate a lot of front end stuff. And yeah, just keep progressing up. It's a stacked field. Having 20 cars in that class down there is crazy, and every car is built to hell. And just jumping in with my feet, trying to get my feet wet, is a big thing. So definitely learning off every single race so far. Unfortunately, we're 0-4 in this car so far. But I mean, every time you're getting better at navigating with the co-driver and getting a faster pace, just trying to learn every moment of the way so that all of a sudden we'll get a win.
What are some of the things that you guys have learned or you've learned since kind of newbie at it, so to speak?
I think my driving has improved a lot, just with having the pace being way higher and having to learn when to push, when to back off. And the Baja race kind of taught me to just chill more, which I'm not super used to with any of this yet. And just trying to back off and be able to know that I have to get the car to the next person, because I haven't had to do that yet in any other racing. Other than that, learning the navigation stuff. I've never had to have someone in my ear talk to me the whole time, tell me where to go, what to do, and when to hit the brakes, when to chill out, when to get faster. So that's also been a different change of pace for me. But we've been getting a lot better and better per race with the words and getting it out faster, and me trying to listen to it when I can. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy though, like, because we were just talking with Bryce Menzies about it. Like, I've noticed that as I get older, and I'm addicted to progress, right? And I think it was bred from racing. Like, you always want to get better and better, right? Like, I feel like you're saying kind of the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that each race, kind of what I'm seeing with navigator wise, Spencer's been getting better with his words, trying to get comfortable with saying certain stuff that I want to hear from him. And he was on it really good. We had really good notes at works because we did not go down there and pre-run at all. Yeah, trying to get better with the navigation stuff, because I feel like my driving skill is there, but me having to listen to someone else is definitely a learning progress on its own.
Yeah, totally. Blake Wilkey, what's up?
Duh.
Dude, it's kind of crazy. I was thinking about it like this morning, actually. We're used to seeing you in a class 11, like a trophy bug. I don't know if you can still hear us, Blake, but we're talking about you. His system's bogging out.
Yeah.
Does he have sucky Wi-Fi at the shop, Harrison?
There is no Wi-Fi at the shop.
Blake, we're going to have you go outside, man. Get a cell phone service. It's kind of crazy, though, like seeing Blake getting in all these different vehicles. Was he like nervous or anything, driving not his own rig and then obviously a Polaris?
No. Well, he's so comfortable in anything he puts his mind to. The whole getting him in the car was something that was planned when I finished the car and as I was building it. We kind of talked about 1 or 2 races this year to kind of share the duties with it. I don't really trust anyone driving. To me, it was him.
Yeah.
And we're really good friends. We're kind of all in this together. All of our partners are the same. So being able to have him behind the wheel, knowing that, well, if we mess the car up, we could both fix it together. And yeah, it's definitely different seeing him race the UTV. I'm used to him in the bugs all the time, but he's comfortable no matter what. So it was a good fit for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though, man. Like, I love seeing that people could just like say in air quotes drive anything. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, definitely. He got in the car and I could just tell pretty quickly he was comfortable. And even when he got out at the end of the night, he was like, dude, the shocks are unbelievable, because we have 4 Pro Rs total, and this one's the most done up one. And just hearing him talk about the things that he liked the most about the car and how it handled and how it drove was definitely rad to see.
Dude, it is cool. Blake Wilkey, what's up, dude?
Dude, I'm back, man. Technical difficulties, brother.
It's all good. Sometimes these cell phones just give us so much shit. Hey, so I was going to say, like, we're used to seeing you in a Volkswagen, right? A class 11, a trophy bug. Now you're going into a Polaris Razor, and Harris and I were just like, dude, the guy can drive whatever.
I mean, They are very forgiving. And I mean, I never even the only thing I did before the race was sit in it, make sure the belts were all comfortable, and learn the car a little bit more than what we've done at the shop. And dude, I mean, I have a Pro R, so I couldn't imagine it would have been a whole lot different, but thing works good. Harry's got that thing dialed pretty solid, minus the ball joints.
Yeah, but minus some upgrades that you guys learned from. What's the like? Let's just say I wanted to get into Pro R and go race like the Baja 500. What have you guys done to your car? Because it's I don't want to say it's pretty stock because it's got some upgrades on it, but it is close.
Yeah, I mean, Harry knows all about it. I mean, I do as well, but I mean, you could put a Pyrotech fuel cell under the seats, throw good seats in it, throw a cage on it with some door bars, which LSK is offering for the Pro Rs, where it's a race/play door. So you can essentially take 2 Allens out and the door will swing open like a factory door, or put the Allens in and it makes it rigid. I mean, they make a bolt-on spare tire mount, and that's pretty much all you need. I mean, put the heavy-duty ball joints on it, and if you're not going full kill race pace, then it should live. But we're pushing to run with the big dog.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's dude, and we were just talking about that. The pace is insane fast. Like, well, actually, so Harrison, how did you feel running that pace? And then I'm going to ask Blake kind of a different question.
I have 2 answers. One answer is it is fast-paced class. The cars are very capable. They could go through anything the TTs can go through, just a little bit slower, basically. And you don't have the big tire, but the pace is huge. I think it is still not as fast as the trophy truck, because I had a 6100 truck pull out in front of me on a trail that met together, and that guy was gone. I never saw him again, ever. So it is still a slower pace than the TTs, but I mean, they move. It's pretty wild when you're in race mode.
Yeah, it is wild. And then so Blake, you're on the other end of the spectrum, right? Like a class 11. I'm not going to say it's slow, but it's one of the slower classes. And then you got the TT bug. Like, both of those are all the way at the other end of the spectrum, right? And then you got a Pro R or UTV platform that's kind of right in the middle. What did you feel like the pace was? Because again, like, I thought the race pace, this race, was way faster than it was last year.
Oh, for sure, hands down. And I mean, this track was brutal. You ask anybody that ran this course, and this course was not a friendly course by all means. But the pace, yeah, dude, everybody just seemed super antsy. Like, even in the big dog classes, I mean, look at how many of the top tier dudes had pretty big issues that set them back pretty far. I mean, most of them battled through it because they're top tier teams. But yeah, dude, it was just, I think, especially in the Pro R class, the 1800 class, I feel like with the factory guys and then the other dudes that are either, you know, still sponsored by Polaris, and everybody had something to prove and they want to get that top spot. I mean, that's racing, and sometimes it pays off to be conservative, but I mean, Brock Heger won, I believe, right? Yeah. And he didn't have any issues all day. So, I mean, it shows that if you're not running that pace, there's someone that's going to have a flawless day to where you have to run that pace to win.
Yeah.
Because out of, 18 cars or whatever it was, somebody's going to have probably a close to flawless day. And if they're close to that pace and they have 0 issues, they're going to be in that top spot.
That's a good point to bring up. So we just actually talked with Brock and Ethan and Adam Arsenal, all Polaris, right before you guys. And they were telling us that, I guess it is a perfect day, so to speak, right, in desert racing. But they had a bunch of different logistical things that happened. Like, they had to pit early at a BFG pit. They had to swap some stuff out. They did a misfuel, like a bunch of different little things that happened, right? But you guys, like, in desert racing, every single team has to deal with this, right? You're on the fly. You're switching what you got to do. And you got to have all of these things happen. You guys have, I'm not going to call it like a skeleton crew, but a limited amount of resources, and you still go out there and you can still perform. Harrison, that's going to feel pretty badass.
Yeah, it's rad for sure. We luckily had a good group of people. Manuel down there, who works on Blake's Class 11 car. He lives in it. So we had him and his other boys and his son down there, and we only brought one other person with us from up here to help out. So we're pretty limited on it. But I mean, we kind of went into this with, we're not trying to get first place or second or third. We just want to finish it. So having less crew, we still could get the job done. And even with all the failures we had, everyone still gathered up together to handle the situation and get the car back on the road each time. So it works.
It makes you feel so good when you're racing down there.
Yeah.
It's
Trophy Burrow asked how you guys finished, Blake.
I broke a ball joint in like a section by the beach where I didn't deserve it or nothing. I think it just had, it had small whoops and stuff. There was no raw impacts or nothing. I think the ball joint threads, like the clip on the top of the RCB ball joint popped out, and then it unthreaded the top of the ball joint out, which sucked. But when that happened, I limped it pretty slow for about 5 minutes on course and just added up the time. And I was like, dude, it's 2:30 in the morning right now. I just got done taking a dirt nap next to a fire on the coast of Baja for like almost an hour while we were waiting for the Duran brothers to bring us a rear hub. The rear hub got screwed up, but yeah. So I was like 2:30 time. We got to go almost 100 miles. Like, Poppy, I think we're done, dude. Because if we're doing 20 miles an hour and we got to go, say, 80 miles, that's another 4 hours. And that's on course. So, like, we were right there past Colonette. So we peeled off and took the highway back to Ensenada, peeled off and then took a connecting highway to the one, then took the one back to Ensenada. And every 5 minutes, the thing would get a gnarly death wobble at about 30 miles an hour because I didn't want to push it. And then I'd have to like either stab the brakes or sometimes a little blip with the throttle would get it to like the tire to stay straight. But man, it was an adventure. It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool though. Like Baja's always an adventure, right? Jeffrey Ricker actually said thanks for all your help at kilometer 77 too. Let's see.
That was my first time ever down in Mexico like that. First time doing a Baja race, and just seeing the atmosphere and the amount of people that love the sport was just unbelievable. And just us doing it. I mean, I was sitting at 440 waiting for Blake, not knowing what's going on with the car for about 4 hours. Just sitting there in the middle of Mexico with no phone service, just stoked to be down there. And it's cool.
Dude, that vibe, like I'm glad you brought that up, Harrison, because the vibe never goes away. Like that's always just in you after you go down there for one race. Like it's just like inbred in you for the rest of your life. It's so cool that you got to experience that.
So it's definitely unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's see here. It's basically you guys helped a few people, Blake, out on course?
Chris and Matt Long, I hardwired her fans at like mile 70 or 77 or something like that. We're right there where the highway met and you peeled off and made a left. She came in and had a fan that wasn't working and there was a couple of dudes there and she said that the car was overheating. So they had a minimal crew. They had a couple people there to do fuel and whatnot. But Wayne came in first, and then we fueled him up. And then Kristen came in and said she was overheating. So I hardwired her fan, and she ended up, getting a podium. So that was pretty cool. And then Brandon Sims at mile 212, where it crosses the highway at like where BFG pit 2 was, he came in, and right before he came in, I was just going to help do a look over. I'm in flip flops and shirtless and shorts, like, because I knew Harry had some time before he came in. So I'm just chilling. And next thing you know, over the radio, he says, hey, we need a rear axle, driver's side rear axle. So I was like, shit, pulled out my box of tools because I know that I have the King of Hammers bag and then my other hard chest that has everything in it. So I got that dialed. Oh shit. And
What up?
Yeah, freaking changed an axle for him. Flip flops and no shirt, dude, just cruising.
That's Baja for you though, dude. And yeah, well, first of all, like that's sick that you did that because that's like the true class act, and that's like the true I don't know, mantra of desert racing, right? Is give everybody the best chance across the finish line.
Yeah. And they're both competitors in the same class, but it's like, dude, these are the homies and I know what everybody puts into it. So if there's something that I can do to help anyone, man, I mean, competitor or not, it's nice to be able to, see them finish well and have a small part of that, in the most crucial time.
Even on the race course, I had a tie rod Heim go out and duck problem and floorboard.
Dude, we got a whole lot of grinding going with the air tools over there.
Oh shit.
Harrison, you got cut off by the power tools, buddy.
It's all good. Yeah, I ducked a tie rod in the bottom of his chassis, so I was able to get that out of his car and fix my car. So yeah, just sharing the love down there is the way to do it.
That's so true, mantra of Baja. Hey, Blake, I know you got to get back to work and kind of get things going with all the stuff that you have going. Give us Harrison, actually, you go first. Tell us who you want to thank and just tell us what your plans are for the next race.
Definitely want to thank XComp Tires. They stepped up really big, helped get us both on there for this race. And for our small crew, for helping out with every which way possible to get us handled down there and taken care of. And just all my friends and family that support this. I mean, it's a small program, but we're growing better and better. And I'm thankful for it. Our next plan would be, I think me and Blake are going to the Glen Helen Moore race in July. We're going to have some fun. And that's a different change of pace. We could kind of back off the craziness and just enjoy the time and have fun on the motocross track. And then I think maybe Baja 400 or the California 300. And we Razor. So that's what's coming.
Dude, that's going to be sweet. B Moore, do you have any questions for Blake Wilkey to wind her down?
Dude, I'm ready for Blake to drop the heat.
What do you want?
I know. I'm waiting for this video to get dropped, dude.
Oh, Urban 3, dude. It's going to be sick.
I know. I'm so bummed I didn't make it, man. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you missed out on a good time. You know how we do. We were.
I know I'm gonna be mad and jealous, and yeah.
There'll
be more.
This Salt 3 sounds like it'll be pretty sick. All right, one last question for you boys. Blake, how many tacos were eaten in Mexico?
All of them. I don't know. Did you beat my? I got there and I had 14 right away. So I don't know if you got me beat.
Every style of taco, man. Freaking birria, pastor, carne, chicken, cabeza, like you name it, dude. I like them all.
Oh, you went hard with the cabeza, huh? How was that?
Dude, it is unique, but it is very, very, very tasty.
Dude, yeah. I've tried it once and I wasn't a huge fan, but I was sitting next to B Moore and I was like looking over. I'm like, dude, how many tacos are gonna show up?
Hey, I try to not be a fat kid. I go down there. It's full on, dude.
Fat kid restriction is lifted.
On new country, different country, can eat whatever you want.
All right. Hey, thanks, Harrison. I appreciate it. Thanks, Blake. Good job, boys.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, see you guys later. All right, so B More, there was a lot of fun to have down there. You and I spent a lot.
Oh man, dude, so much to unpack, dude.
It really is too, right? Like, I want to talk about, we're going to talk about like the Starlink and some of the broadcasting and stuff, but I want to talk about like the good times of Baja, right? Like that's one of the main reasons we all do this is because we all get to share love and time with our Baja families. And you got to do that with Herbst.
For sure. I'm seeing it, obviously from a news side with different perspectives. Obviously, I've worked with a lot of different teams, very fortunate to work with obviously some of the top tier teams that, go off, between, Menzies and now Herbst. And, I help Herb or Menzies still too. But now I'm actually being like the catered side of Terrible Herbst Motorsports. So, it's been cool to see kind of a different side of it too. Like, how they do it. They go all out obviously. Right. But, everything's still the same as far as like the love and the passion. And when you're down there and, the people, And everyone, it doesn't matter, like you could be the top trophy truck team or you could be the guy who races a quad, right? And everyone still has love for each other. And there's all, hey, if you need something, everyone helps each other. Herps, especially, like, there was people, I've seen people where they're coming up, in a pinch to need something and they just hand it out, right? Like parts, whatever it is.
Yep.
And so, it's been fun to study and kind of see that side of it, I love it, man. I think it's like for us, we're very much the same, because we talked about it, right? Like, we're so passion driven about it, and like we're so willing to kind of invest all of our time, because we want this to grow. We know what it can be, right? And
road racing is just so sick, dude.
The biggest problem is people don't know, right? Like, the only people that know are the people that have seen it up close, right? Like, and so obviously, like me and you, man, we're like very much, how can we mass produce? How can we get everyone to see that's not in this demographic? That we know they're gonna like it. We know they're gonna love it. It's a whole different perspective, right? So, the biggest thing, is trying to get this thing for the world to see.
Dude, I can't wait till we can walk into Walmart and say, did you see the off-road racer? People say, yeah. I'm going to go through some of these comments. Emily, hi, how are you? Jason Montez said, were we snuggle buddies? Hey, luckily we got our own beds. And,
no snuggle buddies.
Yeah, different.
I tried. Sorry, Jason, I'm part of the aerial department, so we're required to have our own room. Sorry.
Back to Baja, what's up? Yeah, so it is cool to see, though, right? And then, so one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit is the Starlink stuff is working really cool, because we can transmit data, we can do live video and all this stuff. Like, we have computer networks on a freaking trophy truck now. Like, that blows my mind. Like,
just think of it on the helicopter side too. Just think, actually take the live stream side out, right? And I'm seeing this obviously because I'm in the back seat, but I see the time split side. I see just having the data. So knowing what's going on at all times and being able to have, like, you never realize how important data is until you don't have it, right? Yep. And so now, we have this way to where we can see. I mean, I have live tracking. I can have,
I'm doing a photo of you.
We have live tracking. We have, telemetry. We have, we have, like, kind of know, we're in the know of all the things. And so, that in itself is literally, it's, and then you add the video aspects of it. And now you're kind of getting that person, kind of a feel of what's going on, and they can see what's happening in almost real time. And that's what people want. That's how you get people that can't, that maybe not have an understanding of it to get an understanding.
Well, it's funny because, like, the cat. It's funny because, like, I didn't realize how the video helps, but all the team members were like, "Yeah, we watch it the whole time."
Yeah, no, and that's the thing, and it's getting better, right? When we tried this, years ago, the it wasn't there, right? Like, the idea and all the Starlink stuff is happening very fast, right? And I mean, me and you have talked about it. It's like, you develop something, you test it, you're happy, and oh my God, now there's another method of doing it, or there's a streamline. And how we've talked about trying to, dumb it down to where essentially, it's hard to, I mean, not to say that we're smarter than everybody else, we just have a better understanding of how things work, right? And so on the troubleshooting side, it's how can we make this work so just some regular person can put it in their car? Again, we want
plug and play.
We want the trophy truck guys. We want that. But like we want the guy that is in his, his Razor or his 10 car that may not have the most technical experience or whatever it is, that we want them to say, hey, or hand this to them and have a method of saying, here you go. This works. And so
actually, Gray Kelly just logged on and said, you guys are taking my sport to the next level. Thank you, Be More. Yeah. Like, that's exactly the person that I think would benefit from it, right? They put a network on their car, then all of a sudden they can show grandma and grandpa what they're doing on the weekend, sitting in the seat.
Yeah. And that's, and that, how crazy is that for that? And that's exactly right there. Like, having grandma and grandpa not being able to be there, but be there. And, that's the thing. And I, we can roll this whole conversation into a freaking whole thing, but it's obviously getting the support and the understanding of the promoters and how to, let's all work together
because it helps everyone build all this. And when we build all of it, and obviously marketing comes in, and then you have you have these huge sponsors, and then all that. So I see it from 20 directions. Obviously, from my experience, from somewhat. Well, I wouldn't say I have a ton of marketing experience, but making taking people's money, making something out of it, and then providing or giving it to sponsors and all that stuff. So
yeah, John Huppert just chimed in, and this is actually a good little topic to talk about. He said it's not important until it is important, then it really is, right? Like, but people haven't seen it yet. That's the really crazy thing, right? And then all of a sudden you give it to them, and it's like, oh my God, this is so badass. Don't take it away. Like, you got to keep like moving forward. Like, I want it more and more. And like, one of the cool things that you and I just figured out, like after the races, like we just went and looked at the stats, and today, like 65,000 people watched it on Saturday. Like, that blows my mind. Like,
and what I think about that, unique eyeballs. That's what's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the biggest thing. And now, how do we go out? I mean, it's going to grow. Right. And now how do we push it out to the people that don't know about it? Right. And because by then we're going to start, I think we're going to really get traction. And I know what's cool about it is, look, we're making leaps and bounds every single time we're trying this, right? Me and you, especially like balancing ideas, like how can we do this? How can we do this? Right. And all these unknowns. And then, obviously we're having it. I'm going to say it's an inconvenience. We're inconveniencing the prep guys and having to add all this equipment, which, I mean, again, it's getting better. It's coming down. Like, we're going to eventually, the stuff that you're developing, it's going to make it to where it's just very simple.
Yeah, but the same thing happened with like onboard jacks or with like tire.
Yeah.
Like all these add-ons, right? Yeah. Like the trophy truck is an insane piece of equipment, no matter how it is. Yeah. So we kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, right? We're still elevating and we're still giving more back.
Well, we're ahead of the curve. And that's the thing, right? And that's why, yes, we'll get frustrated. You know me, I'm like, in the moment, but I have to dial it back and realize, look, we are ahead of the curve in what we're doing. Again, we're not saying we're the first to do it, but I would say that we've had a very good spot of understanding and making it work more efficiently and more uptime and more, this race, 500, for instance, like, dude, the issues we had at the 250 were not the issues we had this race.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
quite a bit better.
Yeah. And so, now it's just add. What can we do better? Where can we fill this? Where, where, like, how can we tell a story? How can we, how do we involve, more drivers or this and that, and I think we're setting a precedent, at least, because, obviously our signals, they can go to, for like this last race, they go to Score, and Score is using it for their stuff. And, and so.
Yeah. Trophy Pro actually just said kind of the same thing. Like, how do you juggle all these different feeds? Well, honestly, I think it's going to be up to the user. And I think it's kind of like Apple and Android, and like, you have to like negotiate it to the way that you want to consume information, right? Yeah. Or what you want to view. Some people may not be very adept to seeing an in-car camera. It might upset them. It might be too much juggling around. Yeah. They want to see some people in. So it's just whatever you really want. But the bad thing about it is like what B. Moore said, there's a lot of room for growth. Like, pretty soon we're going to have it so you can click on it and you can watch whatever camera you want to watch. So you can pick, like, all of those things are going to be amazing.
And that's going to be the game changer part, when you can physically have control of, essentially the software and pick what you want. Right. And it can totally be done. It's just a matter of, it's a matter of just doing it at this point. I mean, I don't think that's to come to a point when you kind of figure out, like, hey, what is your ultimate goal? For instance, like, we like not everyone's going to want, like, for instance, Terrible Harvest Motorsports obviously was what we've been doing. Not everyone's going to want to watch that. Maybe they're going to want to watch Score, and Score is going to sprinkle in some of our stuff and whoever else. Right. But what's nice is the people that don't, like, it goes the same thing, is there needs to be, it's like not everyone wants to watch Score, but maybe someone wants to watch, or Terrible Hertz. And, like, I mean, everyone has a thing. Oh, I like this angle here, or I like this angle here. And what we try to do is not make it redundant, or, all the same and everything look the same, and try to switch it up.
Yeah, exactly. Trophy Bro saying the same thing. And I got something to add on to that. He said, like, there needs to be an aggregate or a nice interface. Well, dude, we've already got a lot of that complete. I think we're about 60, 70% done with the interface. We just still got a little bit more to do. The cool part about it is though, is like, I love that we're growing it, but honestly, I still want to see inside of a class 11, dude. Like I want to put some cameras in those beasts.
Yeah, dude, that'd be violent. That actually, that's a really good idea. And I mean, again, and that's the thing, like, it's where is this gonna go? Like how, I look at what the, well, we know what, with for score, for instance, like, they're trying to do this, but I think that, people are going to want to make the investment. They're going to want to have something that they can put in their hands, essentially, like where not like, but he said they want some control where it's say, hey, I want to be able to put this here so my family can watch it. And so I think, until they kind of get that figured out and where that, where the deal is there, it's going to be kind of hard for, for them to keep, getting people. I mean, the thought of them having 100 feeds at once and be able to do that, that is honestly my dream for this, because when we get that point, then we're going to really, really, have something.
It's going to be next level, right? And then like Hall Design says a lot more live pit action. Yep. Like we're able to do that. Like, what's crazy is I was looking at like the user count, like on YouTube when we were doing the live pit action for Herps, and we had 3 trucks come in like within a 15-minute period or whatever. The user count went up like 100, 150 people that were watching just when it was coming through the pit. So like what those guys just said, that's totally crucial. Like I think we need to do more of that.
Oh, and that's what that's what people don't know too, is like you literally, so some of the pit action, right? You sent a link, we're downloading an app, which I was using the Starlink in the helicopter, download the app, put the info in, and then boom, my phone is now a live camera, right? So, that's what people realize, like you can do this, and it doesn't have to be some crazy expensive production. You just need to have,
like this guy's your best friend. Yeah, Daisy was saying too that filming always got more in the pits than it did like recap videos and stuff. I agree. Yeah. What's cool too is like, not to get off subject because we're talking about the Baja 500, but we actually had satellite dishes in the Ocean Cup, which is offshore boat racing this weekend too. And we got to see a whole bunch of the behind the scenes action, some offshore boats. Like that was sick, dude. I've never even seen an offshore boat race, and I was like, holy crap, these dudes are gnarly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, dude. People want to be like, they've seen what kind of NASCAR's done and Formula One, and and like it can be that. Now, obviously, we are facing a huge, like the connectivity side of it. Obviously, like we're making these things do what they're essentially not that they're not supposed to do it. That you like, I mean, the fact that we can put a Starlink on the roof of a truck and beat it to shit, and it doesn't, like, it works, and yes, there's some limitations, and we know that, but
we have lost a couple.
We actually found one.
Yay!
But it's what we need to keep progressing.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to get better. Like it really is. It's only going to get better. And eventually we're, the right person and the right meeting is going to happen. And then, those limitations will go away. And then honestly, it's going to be crazy, because then, the nice thing about with the Herps feed obviously is like, hey, at least there's 3 vehicles. And then if there's a dropout, you can switch. And then obviously with the helicopter worked the best it ever did.
Dude, it was good. I turned up your bit rates, and so it was looking.
So it's like, the download speeds we were getting and uploads, I was, it's impressive. And so, I think, I don't know, man, it kind of blows my mind. Honestly, the fact that it even works.
All right. Hey, so enough Starlink talk. What was your favorite part about being down there?
The tacos, man. Oh my God.
We didn't get to eat it enough times because we were so busy, but dude, the El Trillero, Lindsay Geyser's favorite spot, just came in so clutch, dude.
Yeah, that's I can't believe that's the first time I'm eating that place. Or maybe I haven't, but I feel that's the first time if I remembered it. That place was so
let's see here. Hall Design says pit 1 was awesome for Herps. We pitted both spec trucks within 30 seconds of each other. Yeah, like, and to be able to capture that, like, even when I was sitting there, like being part of the broadcast team, like I was just like amazed. I was like, dude, this is so cool to watch. Like, I'm having a great time watching this myself. Like, it was bitching.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, it's funny because we didn't know, like, obviously when we that's when we hooked the phone up, and I was like, hey, the one came through, and we kind of like, holy shit, I know this truck's coming in.
Yeah.
You know, and you like see, and obviously we had we had that again. It's not perfect. We had that issue with the one Starlink, and we're like, fuck, how can we? Me and you're just like, how can we reset this thing while they're in race mode and like ask them,
Oh, dude,
and that's like
tried.
this is the shit we're gonna learn and we're gonna figure out. Like there's gonna again, it's only trial and error, dude. We're gonna.
Emily's trying to get in the helicopter and eat tacos next time. Oh, Daisy's like, yeah, Paris was the best part of the trip. No, we didn't go to Paris.
No.
You can't count us in on that. We got to go to El Chilero, and Brian had 69 tacos.
You need antibiotics after you go to that place.
Hey, we got to get the dirt bike guys on, dude. I appreciate everything that you did. Obviously,
Yeah, buddy.
come down there. I think it was awesome to be able to see. And now, today, we're up to 85,000 people or 82,000 people that have watched, dude. So good job.
We're gonna keep pushing it, dude. I'm stoked. I mean, and like I said, I'm so very thankful that Herps is, have trusted us, like, in the investment, and to try this. They see the bigger picture, and that's what we need. It's they understand the big picture of it, and they trust that some two knuckleheads are trying to spearhead some crazy shit to happen. So
it's awesome, though. I love it, dude. All right. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I'll talk to you here soon.
Later.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so let's get Connor Eddy on, Matt Combs and Matt Eddy. Go ahead and feel free to join whenever you guys want here. Oh, there's Matt. Connor, why don't you jump on? And Matthew Combs, you want you to jump on too. Hall, thanks very much, dude. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Matt. We'll wait for there you go. Matt, what's up? How are you, dude?
Pretty good. You?
You got the 9X in the background?
I do. Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Is she cleaned up after Baja?
No, we haven't got that far yet.
Oh, she still got a little bit of Baja love on her, huh?
Yep. Just a little bit.
All right. So we'll wait for Connor and for Matthew to jump on as well. I got to say, the first thing that I wanted to say was moto in Baja is gnarly. And I mean gnarly in every single aspect of that word.
It's a whole nother animal, man. It's super gnarly. If you don't have a cage around you to protect you, and if you hit the ground, a little softball sized rock, man, could take you out and end your Baja and potentially more.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Connor, who else is supposed to join us? Because I see a couple people in here.
Bryce now.
All right. Yeah, I don't see him yet, so we'll wait till he joins. But yeah, Matt, to continue on what you're saying, Matthew, come in the screen a little closer. Give your buddy Connor a hug. You guys just got second at the Baja 500, dude. So yeah, first of all, I guess maybe I should do a reintro here. So we got Connor Eddy, Matthew Combs, and Matt Eddy. You guys did a killer job down there. It was so gnarly. You guys were ripping, and you guys came home second. I know you guys wanted to win, but dude, that's a feat in itself. So Matt, give us a little bit of a background on what transpired to get you guys down there.
So I got a call, actually I didn't get a call. I told Connor, hey Connor, that'd be cool if we can put something together for the 500. His other team kind of backed out on him last minute, and I know he was kind of bummed, and he really wanted to ride, race the 500, and I opened my mouth and said, hey, we should put a team together. And next thing I know, a few days later, a week later, I get a phone call, and this guy Seve at DP Racing, probably one of the most passionate guys to ever walk in Baja. I mean, he's been there a long time, and he's helped a lot of the guys out that has multiple wins in Baja. And he gave me a phone call and said, hey, Matt, I heard you may be interested in racing. And I'm like, well, yeah and no. It's been a long time since I've raced down there, and I've been riding a little bit here in the States racing, but not in Baja, and it's been about 7 years. But Seve did all of the legwork, got our pits going, got some funding and stuff like that, and all we needed was a bike, basically. And
she's sitting right behind you, dude. Look at her.
Yeah, I couldn't say no. The offer was too good, and
the guys that Connor rounded up to ride, Matt Combs and Bryce Davron, solid guys. So I mean, I had nothing but good to think about them and to say yes.
Yeah, exactly. And Bryce, dude, you looking crispy. You got the nice Honda shirt on, representing everybody. Oh, good, dude. How was the race for you, bud?
It was the funnest race I've ever had down there. Like literally just being that close with everyone. Even all the teams at the visuals on the way back in when we were waiting for Matt to cruise in. Like we were all hanging out, having a good time, laughing, like just all admiring how close this race was. And super stoked that Connor and Matt got to see their first race down there like that. That's like something very exciting that, 26 races in, I've never seen anything that close.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, right? And then I wanted to know too that both Matthew and Connor are 17 years old, both from Barstow boys, right? So it's pretty cool that you guys got to experience it with them, right, Matt?
Yeah, it was good. It's a lot different than got to go down there and figure everything out and just learn how Baja works. And then turns out we did it pretty good and pulled it off.
What was the gnarliest part of the whole race? Like, well, actually, before we go in there, Matt, Eddie, why don't you tell us a little bit about the strategy? Like, there's 4 different riders. So how do you, stagger? Where does everybody go? Like, what mile markers and stuff?
Okay, so this one was unique because we had 2 guys that had very minimal time racing in Baja. So we had to be really strategic with where we set up rider sections at, just because I know the consequences of Baja and putting people in the wrong spots, And,
well, like your brother just said, he just commented in rookies, like he was making fun, but that's actually a really true statement. Like you have to protect the rookies.
You do. And you got to put them not where they want to go, but where you think they would fit to be a good team player and to keep them safe as well. So it was a no-brainer. Bryce has been starting for quite a few teams lately in Baja. And so we decided Bryce was going to start and take it to kilometer 77 on the highway. And we decided, he's going to ride another section later. So I got on the bike and took up a 30 miles to Nuevo Junction. So from kilometer 77 there to Nuevo Junction, 30 miles, where we decided Matt Combs, he races a lot here in the States, and he's a District 37 and National Hare and Hound champion. So we thought a good fit for him would probably be, it's funny to say, but the most dangerous section in Baja, which is up over the summit all the way into Borrego. It's super gnarly. You got to be on your toes. And, we've seen the consequences of that in pre-running down there. So I think Matt knew how serious and how consequential that section could be. But in reality, it was probably the best fit for him. He's at super gnarly, rough, slow going stuff, and until you get up over the summit.
Yeah, and I think that's good that you guys already have experience. So maybe I should say that as well. So Matt, Max, all of you guys have quite a bit of experience that you can help the younger guys. I mean, they're 17 years old. They still got a lot of piss and vinegar, right? You got to calm them down. So it's like, that experience, and you can put them in a position where the team can excel and get better if you know what their qualifications are on course to be able to excel at that segment of the course.
Sure.
It's pretty crazy to see that. So Bryce, that's got to be a pretty good feeling knowing all the experience and the new blood both on the same team.
Yeah. The kids, they're not kids, they're young men, but they rip. Like, they're fast. Connor was literally, I seen all the other videos and everyone else go through, they're all chopping the throttle. He never let off the hammer.
Dude, we posted one video today. Connor was just waiting. I was like, if that back end steps out, there's going to be some serious freaking consequences right there.
Yeah. I guess Grandpa told him he was losing time, and he's like, oh, no, that's not happening. So, and then Matt, that's a heavy section, like Matt Eddie was saying. But he freaking handled it. Like, he really did. He kept with everyone, passed a bunch of people. I think he passed the most amount of people in one run out of all of us. and he got us up into fifth. And at that point, I could be wrong though. It may have been Matt coming into Summit, got maybe a couple, and then the other Matt got the other rest. But yeah, he put me in a good spot in fifth when he got back off at Borrego. And like, yeah, they did their job great. Like they hauled ass.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Connor, what was some of the funnest parts for you? Or actually, you know what? Before I ask that question, what did you learn? Because you got a lot of pressure on your shoulders with all these guys.
Yeah, basically just learn to, not race 100%, race 80%, and just get it to the next person pretty much at the end of the week, And
dude, I don't know about that. Paul Vitale just said that you were shifting basically into seventh gear.
That's my 80%, I'm that's my normal.
It's pretty crazy. Did you have any sketchy moments or no?
No, we all had flawless rides. Maybe except for my Uncle Matt at the end, because there's vehicles and stuff in the oncoming traffic. But I had a flawless ride the whole time. I didn't really have any sketchy moments. Just coming into San Tomas, I was dodging a few vehicles going like 70 on the dirt roads. But that's known for down there. You gotta expect that, you're ready for that at all times, around every corner, around every rise,
I had one of our fans just comment in and said, ask Connor what he learned about girls outside of Paris.
They're dudes.
That's hilarious. For anybody that doesn't know what Paris is, down in Mexico, it's a gentleman's club, but minus the gentlemen.
Yeah. Look, next subject, yeah?
Hey, so Matt Combs, what was some of the sketchiest parts of your portion of the race?
Everything went good. Over the summit went really good, and I had a close call with a cow right after the summit, though. It came right from behind a bush. I'd never even seen it. Nothing, just walked right out on me. But other than that, everything else went smooth and hit on my lines perfect. Couldn't ask for a better ride.
Hey, so what do you guys usually do? Or Bryce, actually, you speak on this a little bit. Like, how far ahead do you have to look? Like, so I grew up racing dirt bikes, but on tracks, right? Like in motocross and doing all these things. And your vision doesn't have to go that far ahead because you're maybe doing, like a quarter of the speed that you guys are doing out in the desert. You do jumps and you can see the next corner. It's really easy to gauge where you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
But I don't understand how you guys, all four of you, understand the vision and the depth that you have to look, because you have to bring it in, you have to let it out, and all of these crazy things to gauge the speed that you guys are at. That always blew my mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of it comes with knowing where you can do that through pre-running. For me, if I see a lot of cattle in an area when I'm pre-running, or even like wild horses or like flocks of sheep, or even like I'll know there's a potential around a blind corner there could be a cow. But at the same time, a teammate from the 300X bike last year, David Zata hit a cow, and it was on the side of the road, and he was cruising by at like 25. He saw him, he checked up, and then jumped out on him. So really, like, animals are the biggest fear for a motorcycle racer down there, because it doesn't matter how good you are. We've seen it, unfortunately. And
it's unpredictable, right?
It's just really, I try to pay attention with pre-running and knowing where they mostly are,
What about like if it's not animals and it's just the speed, like going through San Felipe whoops or like on the coastline where you're kind of just like drifting all over the place?
Well, it depends on like those, softball sized boulders that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Like it's up to how fast you can go through that section. So even for like headlights, like you need to be able to see as far as you can go. Like if you can go 50 miles an hour because you can see 100 feet, you can't go 100 miles an hour because you can see 100 feet. Like the faster you go, the more you got to pick up your vision. You got to open up. Like you're looking for little dust poofs on side like roads that you cross over, or like rancher traffic or anything like that. But no, there's always just like that serious, like literally 40% unknown that a spectator's not going to be driving on a crossroad, or there's a cow around this blind corner that you're going 60 around. Like,
yeah, dude,
I've been taken out by a jackrabbit before.
No way.
Yeah, it'll take your front wheel right off the ground.
Dude, I remember we used to go chasing jackrabbits to get better just out in the desert. So Matt, like when Bryce was talking about that, does it kind of get you to understand like some of the sections that you drove as well, like where you're gauging and where your vision was and the pace that you guys were on? Matt, Eddie?
Yeah, just for your vision wise, I mean, you're constantly scanning up and down, and you're looking, a quarter mile out, and then you're looking in front of you, 100 yards, and then a quarter mile out. You're constantly looking, but yeah, on a bike, everything seems like it comes at you so much faster. I mean, you're not, like I said earlier, you're not protected by a cage, and one little mistake, is what end your day. So, I mean, like Connor was saying earlier, man, you don't ride, here in the States, you could ride, like the Hare and Hounds, for instance, like, you could ride, 95, 100%, but down in Mexico, I mean, you have so many variables. Your care, your medical care is a long ways away, or, hours away. So, I mean, along with just getting the bike to the next guy, I mean, there's so much to think about when it comes to, riding a dirt bike and racing a dirt bike in Mexico is, all those variables. You want to stay safe, obviously. You want to get the bike to the next guy. You got it, or as close to you as you can. Yeah.
It's always crazy to me to think about. I think I've told Connor the same kind of thing, but like when off-road dirt bike racing is way different than on being on track. But like, so I've done professional Lucas Oil short course in the UTV, and I've done professional motocross and supercross and stuff. And I always thought to myself, like after racing dirt bikes and getting a side by side, I feel like I could eat a turkey sandwich because it's like slow motion, right? But when it's different, like I've never driven a trophy truck, but I could assume that those speeds completely change your outlook on the way that you actually see it. And I respect every single one of you, especially the young kids, because they don't know as much as you experienced racers, but like for being able to have that visual perception and the connectivity in your brain to be able to process information when you're going that fast and using all of your muscles. So Connor, it's probably got to feel pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too crazy because coming up to the races, you train really hard coming up to it, and basically train like how you're gonna be in the race, So it's kind of like secondhand nature for come race day. It's kind of just like it's kind of like a walk in the park because you train on stuff that's a lot more harder and brutal than what you race, and even pre-running, you race you pre-run about 40-50%, but you hit all the stuff the same way that you're going to race it, so it's like come race day, it's like a walk in the park, it's like you don't really think about much, you kind of just become one with the bike, and it's just like a walk in the park. It's easy,
like that muscle memory thing we were talking about earlier on the show. So Matthew Combs, like what was some of the funnest parts that you got to do on course?
Well, it was all pretty rough, but the funnest part, definitely the summit, because that's kind of what I'm good at, weaving through the big rocks and the technical stuff. So that's where I have the most fun.
Yeah. Plus the summit is just so cool when you cross over. You're just like, yes, look at that. Like the view is just insane.
Yeah. You're way up there just checking it out the whole time, seeing how nice it is out there.
Where did you guys go this time? Did you guys go through the forest too to get up there?
Yeah, we went through the forest and all that good stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's so cool. And then who got to ride by the beach? Did you say, Bryce?
No, Connor did the coast.
Oh, okay. So Connor, that was probably pretty epic, dude. Because you guys got there at what, like just after lunchtime?
I got on the bike around like 10 o'clock. So I was on the coast by I think around 11.
Yeah, that pace was pretty fast then, huh? So Matt, Eddie, like, was the pace faster than what you were used to?
It's been so long. But I think it was pretty normal. I thought, it's been so long. It's been 7+ years since I've raced down there. So, I think it was fairly normal though. I mean, we average, 40, I want to say 45 miles an hour, somewhere in there. And I think that's pretty par for the course for that rough of a course.
Really? Dude, I feel like that's fast. I don't know, but like, I mean, it seems like that would be pretty fast. So what was the difference between what you last raced on compared to this? Was there a big difference or a different learning curve, or was it just like riding a bike again?
Me?
Yeah.
Actually, it was the same bike. It wasn't this bike,
but it was the first generation Honda 450X.
Yes.
So
Tell us a little bit about the bike too, because that thing is sweet.
yes, this is my bike. We sent it to Bob Young at San Diego Powerhouse 2 weeks before the race, or 2.5 weeks before the race. It was pretty dialed in iron hounds on this bike since the beginning of the year and a little bit last year. So the motor was fresh. I just had it rebuilt. So it was minimal prep, just hey, let's just put a good Baja prep on this, from the linkages up. And, he did a leak down test, checked the valves and everything. So the motor was good. So he just did all the pivot points and the steering. And we changed a couple things on it to better suit us in Baja.
Dude, that's super cool. Bryce, you're probably stoked to get on that thing, dude. That thing looks rad.
Yeah, it's actually been a while since I rode a 450X. Actually, last time I rode 450X was for DP Racing, and I believe it was for DP Racing in 2012. So it's like coming back to that after the new handling bike. Yeah, I think I started back with them in like 2010 to 2012 with AJ Stewart. And that was kind of like he mentored me a lot down there. He taught me a lot of the stuff I know that keeps me safe, and whether on the road or off of the road. Like, yeah, the guy knows his stuff. But yeah, it was great. That bike was awesome. We had to figure out what we wanted to do with suspension, and it all came down to like the day before the race where we were testing on this little loop track on the beach. And we got to a point where it's like everybody's like semi-geared up, like, are you guys ready? We're kind of stressed. The race is tomorrow. We don't have a setting. We're like, yeah. But then like everybody got a turn on it, and like we figured it out. And thanks to Brad Pace, he helped us out too with some clicker changes and ideas. Because like, we're all riding the same bike, we all have to be happy with it. And it's got to stay up for 500 miles, because after 200 miles, that suspension stopped, and it's only going to get softer. That oil's getting thinner. The viscosity is just, it's losing it.
Well, dude, you guys got the suspension tuned up a little bit where Connor could just hold it matted.
It was probably perfect for him out there, it was just soft enough to take those square edges out. And yeah, it was pretty good for last minute. We could definitely, like Matt was saying, we threw all this together literally 3 weeks before the race, because Connor, Matt Combs, and I did not have a ride. Like, we started out at San Felipe at 250, thinking it was going to be one way, but last minute I stepped in, helped us out. Seve stepped in, and we made it happen. And we can't be happier for how it all came together. Like, it was easy. Like, we didn't.
Yeah, Eddie and Seve just coming in clutch, dude. Heck yeah.
And we didn't even stress.
So, what was some of the best things about that bike, Connor? Because you and Matthew too. Both of you guys aren't used to racing a bike that's that good, are you?
Yeah, I have one of. I raced my dad's here back in the States.
You're supposed to say no. You're supposed to say, yeah, my uncle's bike is way better than my dad's.
Well, all Hondas are good. All of them are good. But the 9X bike was definitely one of the best bikes I've ever ridden. Just you can't beat it. It's a proven bike down there. We had precision concept suspension on it, which is the best suspension for Baja, I believe. And yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better bike. It was perfect.
What was your favorite part of the race, Connor?
Wide open along the beach.
That does sound pretty kick-ass, dude. And Matthew, you already said yours was going over the summit. It probably felt pretty good to be at the finish line, all four of you guys together, and all your team and your family and friends. Like, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it was good. It's the first one we did, so we got it done, and just keep going back now. Nothing else to do. We keep going back. It went perfect, and hopefully the rest go perfect.
Look, another guy addicted to progress, right? Matt, Eddie, did you get the bug again to start coming back and feeling a little bit more racing?
I started racing towards the end of last year in the States here, the Hare and Hounds and Sprint Enduros and stuff like that. And man, I've been having so much fun. I've been off the bike for a long time, and that definitely sparked the bug again, racing the Hare and Hounds, and then going back to Mexico and getting so close to a win, but not close enough, and it as a racer, that's not good enough.
So you always want to go back, and I think that's what keeps us coming back is you're striving for that win, and that you've had in the years past. It did come back. Yes.
Dude, that's so cool, man. So, are you going to keep the team, or are you going to fire Connor and Matthew?
Yeah, it just depends. No, I'm kidding. That they're up and coming. They're going to be around, and Austin is going to be an addition to my Austin. Austin Eddie's going to be an addition to the 1,000 team, hopefully. If not, he'll take my spot.
Dude, that's so cool, man. We know Austin can drive a motorcycle or ride a motorcycle insanely good as well. So I can't wait to see it, man. Like, I was just pumped that you guys put together the program. I don't want to say last minute, but with a little bit of last minute, duties, and you guys were able to go down there and get a good result. Being on the podium, I mean, just finishing Baja is insane, but like being on the podium, that kind of make you feel good because there was a lot of hard work that went into it. There was a lot of teamwork. There was a lot of logistical stuff, family stuff, everything that goes into it, man. I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, it's fun. We have a ton of people that helped us out, last minute, get ready for this. And, when we started talking about this and everything just started coming together super easy, kind of knew it was going to, be a good day for us and a good showing. So.
Yeah. That's cool. And you did put together a pretty solid team, dude. So you got to be proud of that and everybody's hard work because everybody had the same goal and that was doing as best you can. So, all right. So let's start with Matt Eddie, and then we'll go to Combs and then Connor and Bryce. Just throw a shout out to everybody.
Man, Seve is he's an animal, man. He loves racing in Baja. I mean, he's helped some of the great motorcycle racers out in Baja. Ben Cooley at Cooley Construction helped us out a lot. Basically anything that we needed for the bike and funds wise, he was there for us. My dad and Big Max, Eddie Max Sr., the guy who started to bred Max and I like we are now, is he was there chasing us. Chris Kincaid also was there the entire time we were down there helping us out and chasing us around, making us sandwiches, prepping the bikes. Why these kids are sleeping because they were tired from pre-running. But yeah, it was. I'll let Bryce shout out to a couple sponsors, and then Matt and Connor also.
Okay, go for it, Bryce.
Yeah, I want to thank Seve first and foremost, Matt for providing the bike. I want to thank Connor and Matt Combs for doing a great job out there and being smart and being safe, most importantly. And then thank PB Brown, Poway Power Sports, Geo. Thank you to Matt Sherbrick, who helped me get down there with pre-run, and Brad Pace and Chris Kincaid and Max Eddie Sr. They both killed it on helping me get my bike ready for the last day of pre-running because it wasn't running too well. It was making noises and stuff, and I needed to pass out. And they took over. They told me to go to bed. So thank you guys, and then just the whole crew that supported the team.
Dude, there's a lot of good people on the team. Hey, we had a comment come in from Draftness that Max, Matt, and Bryce, and versus the kids, who wins?
Oof. In Baja or up here?
That's actually unfair if you do it up here, right? So we got to do this somewhere where you guys haven't gone. Let's go to Antarctica or something. Put ice racing tires. And got the most build.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
No, we got to 2 wheels, dude.
I've been racing with the kids at the beginning of the year, and I know Connor's got me a couple of times, and Matt's got me, but I think I've got maybe Matt when he broke. But it's for I'm 40, but I don't feel 40. I feel like I'm early 30 still. So I think that'd be a good race. We'll have to line up.
That would be.
Dude, that would be pretty cool to have a little battle with all the Barstow guys. You see you guys all out there just ripping. And so Connor and Matthew, why don't you throw a shout out real quick, and then I have one final question for all you guys.
Well, my Bryce and Malcolm Matt pretty much covered everyone else, but for me and Matt, Craig Scanlon, he decided to help us out, and he covered all of our pre-run expenses for the week, and that's huge down there, because you're eating tacos every night. You don't make your own food down there, really. You're eating tacos every night. A lot of gas money for the chase vehicles and the bikes for both of us. So one of my grandpa's good friends, his name's Ron. I raced. He's loaned me a YZ250 to race at some Grand Prix in the States here, and he also helped us with pre-run expenses, and those guys are they make or break it for us, and we want to. You can't go down there without it,
Yeah, totally. All right. So, do you guys have a taco count? How many tacos we're eating?
Oh man. Well, I'll start with for lunch, I have a Coke and 4 tacos for lunch, and also the same for dinner.
So
the big tacos though, queso tacos with everything.
So I'm assuming that Connor over the week at least ate 69 tacos, and you guys probably at least equaled him for the rest of them, right?
I bring my own food now. And nobody to trust the local stations all the time.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and obviously you guys did a fantastic job down there. There's one more step on the podium that you guys have to work your way up to, but that gives you guys all drive to be better next time, right? So can't wait to see you guys. Actually, what's the next race?
Probably the 1,000.
That takes a lot of preparation, so we can't wait to see you guys down there. Appreciate everything, guys. You guys did a fantastic job, like I said, so can't wait to see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, George. Have a good one.
Later.
All right, so we'll close down the show here. I definitely want to thank everybody for being a part of the show. You guys are the ones that keep the show alive. I appreciate everybody for watching, commenting in, hanging out with all of us. We are going to be at the gas races in Victorville. Maybe you can go get some tacos with Connor and all the Barstow boys on Saturday. So come up there, hang out with us, say hi. And then also wanted to wish everybody at the Champ Off-Road Series. I think they're in Anago, Wisconsin right now. So I wish those guys good luck. We're going to have a recap show for that race next Thursday, I think it is. So pay attention for that. That'll be pretty cool. Thank you to all of our sponsors, KMC, Maxidus, Motools, Shock Therapy, JL Audio, Evolution Power Sports, Zolinger Racing Products, Vision Canopies. Please support those guys because they support us. They support off-road. They do a bunch of stuff for everybody. So if you have a chance, go to your local dealership, ask for those parts, and go to this guy's website, purchase some stuff. And thank you guys very much for watching. We'll either see you guys on Saturday or next Thursday. Peace.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show. See you next week.